Hi guys, I'm Melissa Wright, part owner here at Pine Ridge Farm in Indian Mound, Tennessee.
I'm Joey Wright, also co-owner here of Pine Ridge Farm.
And I'm Chance Bobeth, and we're here to talk a little bit about the upcoming Bowhunter Games and what the property has gone through as far as getting ready, preparation for not only Bowhunter Games, but also ASA State. So we just wanted to talk with y'all a little bit and get your input and insight on what the work and everything that's gone into the property, getting ready for the events coming up.
Yeah, so we're just taking a small break. We're actually halfway through our 2026 ASA State Championship. Really excited, to host this ASA State Championship for the first year. We've done a lot of work, to get ready to hosting this event. And we're able to, kind of play off of that and use some of the things that we're doing to get ready for the Bowhunter Games. What have we done to get ready for this weekend?
For this weekend, lots of lane clearing, lots of trim limbing, and lots of spray painting some things orange. That's on our Pine Ridge, which is our historic Pine Ridge, which is what the farm is named after here. It's a row of pine trees that was left when the property was formerly logged. So it's a really cool part of the property. It's up on a high point, lots of mature pine trees, lots of pine needles on the ground, and we have a ton of lanes that Scott has staked out for us, and we used 4 of those ranges for our ASA State Championship this weekend. So they're getting trampled on and worked in pretty good, and those are going to be ranges for people who have some mobility issues and for younger shooters and for much older shooters, so they can have a safe and enjoyable place and they won't have to trudge around and hike through the woods to shoot some targets.
We just came off the range just talking with a few of the archers, and we got some great responses from how the whole venue looked. The grounds look amazing. Everybody's impressed with the ranges and really excited for the Bowhunter Games as well. And I know y'all have also put in a lot of work preparing for the ASA, and not only for this year, but wanting to see it improve for the years to come.
Yeah, I mean, if we go back a year ago, Pine Ridge Farm had held 1 ASA state qualifier. The response from the shooters was very positive. They immediately asked if we would be interested in hosting an ASA state championship, which we were, but we weren't going to rush into it. Right. So I kind of last minute signed up and shot in last year's ASA State Championship. We went really to see how it ran, what kind of stuff went on. Beautiful ranges, really well laid out. And we kind of, on the way home, decided we needed to do some work.
Right.
We needed to cut in some more lanes, needed to make our ranges more accessible for an ASA state. So we immediately kind of put together a plan to cut open another 300 yards on our Pine Ridge. It's where we'd been having just 20 target events, but we wanted to make sure we could do a good job for a state championship. So we put in enough lanes where we could do up to 80 lanes. This year at the state championship, we're running 4 15 target ranges. Yeah. So if you're in a particular class, you may be shooting A range in the morning and C range in the afternoon, or B range in the morning, D range in the afternoon.
Right.
So we're able to kind of spread everybody out, give everybody some different looking terrain, even between the morning and afternoon rounds.
Yeah, we noticed that. From the top of the ridge to the back of the ridge, the terrain completely changed.
Yeah, when we get back to D range, it goes out of the pines into the hardwoods. Right. Completely different look and feel on that range. So it's been exciting for us, not just doing something that can be used for Bowhunter Games, but those will be our day-to-day archery ranges.
Right.
From here forward.
Right.
So we have a lot of options now.
There's been a lot of time and work gone into it. It looks great.
We've made an investment in archery on this property, not just for big events, but even for everyday use.
Right. It shows. Yeah. It really does.
And with our partnership with ASA, we're very fortunate now. We have 60 targets, 60 Delta McKenzie targets. So we will have 2 ranges up and running for daily use from here on out.
I know that there have been some changes that you've implemented, and that we just kind of want to cover a little bit of what you've done to help keep people around and increase that community feel.
We make a great team. We kind of divide and conquer. I delegate all hospitality to Melissa, and I kind of take care of the nuts and bolts of the planning and execution of an event like this. But Melissa makes it pretty and hospitable. So,
I mean, it is kind of nice. We do have a very large barn here that we've converted into a pro shop and also an event center. So we have an air-conditioned space, which archers are not used to. I think our very first archery shoot we ever held, everyone drove straight past the barn to the archery range, and they were looking for a pop-up tent.
Right.
And that's not what we have here. We have quite a nice space that you can come in and hang out and get some coffee and talk to people before you go out, and you can come cool off when you're done shooting. Also, we, from the sporting clays world, which is what we're used to, we shoot shotguns, we travel all over the country and go to championship events, and there's always a banquet where people can come in the evening, they can get cleaned up, and they can get some prizes and have a good meal and hang out with people that they enjoy talking to and they're not necessarily competing against right at that minute. So we will be having a Saturday night banquet tonight, and we have some sponsors who've donated some prizes to give away.
Also, our local tourism, Visit Clarksville, they sponsored tonight's banquet. So whenever we were kind of thinking about how we would pull all this together, we don't have an archery shop here on property. So I got with 4 of the local archery shops in the area and asked them if they wanted to sponsor one of those 4 ranges. Yeah. So each of the 4 ranges are sponsored by a local archery shop, but I didn't ask them for a monetary sponsorship. I just asked them for donations of items, and we're going to give all of those items away to our shooters tonight that stick around for the banquet.
That's great. We were actually having a discussion earlier about some of the ranges, like the professional ranges, of course, are going to be a little bit more technical than the amateur ranges. So the amateur ranges are going to be, or the fun ranges, I should say, are going to be more suited towards, situated like an ASA event where it's going to be more accessible, not quite as technical as the professional ranges.
I'd say it's about 50-50. Okay. You know, of the 12 fun ranges, about 6 of them would be what you would consider traditional ASA style ranges.
Okay.
6 of them are going to be unique, not what you would see at an ASA event typically, whether that be just out in open fields, the Savannah range, not extreme distances, but not in the woods like a traditional range. But then we've got, I think what everybody's really excited about, the Western ranges, Delta McKenzie Western ranges. We have a valley on the property with a dry creek bed running through it, and as soon as Scott Parrott saw it, he decided, this was going to be the Western ranges. Right. We could stretch it out 100, 120 yards, but also elevation changes. Right. So that may be 120 yards, 40 yards up in the air, elevation. Right. So those will be the bigger targets, the elk, moose, caribou. So the really big targets that we don't get to see every weekend. So those are all going to be on the Western ranges.
I'm glad you mentioned the fun ranges, because I was talking to several people this weekend who are here shooting Tennessee State, and I asked them if they were signed up for Bowhunter Games, and they said, oh, we're not shooting for money, we're just shooting for fun. And I reminded them that no matter what you're doing here, if you're doing it for fun or if you're doing it for the cash, you have to be pre-registered. And when's the deadline, guys?
July 31st.
July 31st.
Okay, July 31st. So if you're shooting for fun, if you're shooting for money, you need to be registered by the 31st.
All of that can be found at bowhunter.games. Back to some of the ranges, what everyone is really talking about the most are the money ranges, the ranges that we're using for the cash prizes. Those are on a part of our property that very few people even see. We call it our creek bottoms. Now it has been renamed the Valley of Death. It is down in a creek bottom. A lot of opportunities to shoot some really extreme angles on targets down there. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be rough down in there. There's not going to be a lot of wind, blowing through there. So physical, fitness is going to be going to come into it for those ranges especially. So if you're still looking for a place to stay, we do have our host hotels on our website. All of them, we have preferred rates for the Bowhunter Games. Some of them you may mention ASA Bowhunter Festival, but all of them should have a event rate for the Bowhunter Games. And we still have a few RV spots left here on property. We are allowing dry camping here on property as well. So if you're looking for a place to stay, visit our website, pineridgefarmtn.com, but make sure you get over to bowhunter.games and get pre-registered.